The 2024 Royal Rumble has come and gone, and big surprise, the internet is split with their reactions to it. Some people liked it, other people didn't, but when does the internet ever agree on anything to begin with? Personally, I liked this show. I thought it was a lot of fun and a great way to spend your Saturday night, and definitely worth watching again. I just got finished watching it about 2 hours ago, so let's talk about it. Royal Rumble 2024, what I liked and what I didn't. All right, let's start with that fantastic Women's Royal Rumble because it truly was fantastic. For me, it might be the greatest Women's Royal Rumble of all time. And I know that's a little bold claim, but it was that damn good. You had all of the surprise entrances that we saw. We saw Naomi return, which is so good. I'm so happy to see her back in WWE. We had the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, show up here, which is completely out of left field. I know WWE has done this in the past by bringing in the TNA Knockouts champion in Mickie James, but still, nobody, and I mean nobody, expected to see Jordynne Grace there tonight, so that was really cool. And then also we got the returning Liv Morgan, and how can we not talk about Jade Cargill in her first match in the WWE? She looked fantastic. Now, I know a lot of people were disappointed that Liv Morgan was number 30 as they were holding out their hopes for Sasha Banks, but the thing is, and this is going to be the common theme with this Royal Rumble, I don't think we have the right to be upset at not seeing people who are not signed to WWE. It's cool to hope that you might see Okada or you might see Sasha Banks. People wanted MJF. You can't be upset at not getting something when it was never advertised. You can't be upset, in my opinion, that you didn't get somebody who isn't signed to the company. But I personally was really happy to see Liv Morgan at number 30. It made sense. It was a big return, right? This is a former women's champion we're talking about returning to WWE, and she instantly changes the WrestleMania picture. Whether it be in the tag division or the singles division, she could have a pretty good WrestleMania match ahead of her. Now, the other thing that people are saying about this event is that there wasn't any legends coming back, which is kind of the whole thing about the Royal Rumble, where you never know who's going to show up. Right now, I don't mind that WWE did that this year. I do like that they focused on the actual superstars that they have on their roster. Basically, Triple H saying, here's what we have. This is our product. Enjoy what we can present to you. And honestly, it made the Women's Royal Rumble really entertaining, and also the men's. But the fact that we didn't get any legends returning or showing up in the Rumble does feel like a little bit of a disappointment. But I'm not going to let that affect my overall enjoyment of the show. I still think that they crushed it and that both Rumbles were very good. Now, we'll talk about the men's Rumble in just a little bit, but first let's talk about the two title matches on the show. First up was Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. At first, I was kind of questioning why this match was going on second and why it wasn't the main event or even the match that went on before the men's Royal Rumble. But after watching it, I do really understand. The fans were never going to go home happy if that was the main event. The only way that could have been the main event is if they planned on bringing The Rock down to the ring and having a stare down with Roman Reigns after that match. The match itself was all right. I think people had higher expectations for this match, but at the same time, it followed an incredible Royal Rumble. And I don't know if anybody's bouncing back in that type of scenario, right? I don't know if that's the place where anybody can thrive, right? Those four guys went out there, they tried their ass off, man. They really, really tried their ass off. But in the end, it was the same repetitive ending that we've seen with a lot of Roman Reigns matches. Solo Sikoa coming out and interfering and basically gifting Roman the win. People are getting tired of that, and people were tired of it in the Fatal 4-Way. A lot of people were also saying that Roman didn't need Solo Sikoa in that spot, right? He could have kicked out from that RKO from Randy Orton, and the place would have went crazy. Now, this is nothing against Roman Reigns' title run. Honestly, it's been a legendary run, and we're blessed to be able to live through something like this. In 20 years, we're going to talk about this run and be like, man, do you remember when Roman Reigns had that incredible 5-year title run? And yes, I just said 5 years because I don't think Cody's winning. God, I can't believe I just said that. But still, we're going to look back at this and it's going to be historic. And it's just cool that we get to live through it. But again, the match itself and the finishes and how it's structured, Roman match is either a ref bump or a save from a member of the bloodline. It's getting very, very repetitive, and we need to change the formula. All right, now it's time to turn our attention to the United States Championship match between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. And before I say anything about this match, I have to say this about Logan Paul. He is a natural. He is so good at this thing, and he's so young. I am excited to see what his career is going to look like in WWE, but he is so good at this stuff. I don't love the man, but I got to admit, he is a hell of a professional wrestler. Now let's talk about the match, which I thought was really well done. The finish between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, one of the more unique finishes I've seen in WWE in quite some time. If you didn't see it, it revolved around the brass knuckles, which Logan Paul has incorporated into his character beautifully. The manager tried to bring the brass knucks down, but he caused a distraction while Austin Theory and Grayson Waller brought the brass knucks down. By the way, if we're getting Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and Logan Paul as a faction, I'm here for it. But in the end, Kevin Owens somehow found a way to get the brass knucks away from Logan Paul and used them to his advantage, knocking Logan Paul out cold. 1, 2, 3, we have a new champion. Nope. The referee wasn't an idiot. The referee saw the brass knucks on the hand of Kevin Owens, and he gave him one of the most like, what is that? It was hilarious, but it was perfect because the referee actually looked competent. He actually figured out how to call like a disqualification, a proper DQ. Brass knucks were used. They were left on the hand of Kevin Owens. Owens was kind of dumb for not putting them away. And in the end, Logan Paul retains the United States title via DQ. Loved this finish. But then that brings us to the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble. Now, I saw a lot of people online saying that this was the worst Royal Rumble they've ever seen. Have you watched every single Royal Rumble? Because clearly you haven't. This is nowhere near the worst Royal Rumble. In fact, it was pretty good. A lot of people saying the reason it sucked was because there was no returning legends. There was nobody who showed up as a surprise in the Men's Royal Rumble. To that, I say, we got Andrade. We also got Omos. Like, come on. The biggest surprise. Literally the biggest surprise you could get. I saw a lot of people also saying that the numbers didn't make a lot of sense. Like, why was Andrade entering as early as he was? And why was Ricochet as late as he was? Like, why didn't you flip the two? Fair point. You know, Andrade coming out at 28 would have been a little more exciting than Ricochet. But at the same time, we still got Andrade back. The other thing that people say is like Pat McAfee's spot was a wasted spot, right? It could have went to anyone from NXT. It could have went to a legend. It could have been anybody, but it was probably supposed to be Brock Lesnar. And then all these allegations came out. And of course, Brock wasn't going to be at the event with all this stuff going on, right? We might never see Brock Lesnar in WWE again. That's a whole other story. But Pat McAfee was just a fill-in for Brock. And you could tell that because in the ring was Braun Breaker and Gunther, which would have been a really cool stare down between the three of them. Anyways, I thought the match itself ran really well. You know, more legends coming back could have been a bigger deal, but at the end of the day, the roster is as strong as it's ever been. And I think this is just a testament that Triple H says, this is our roster, man. Like, these are our guys. Now, I also saw a lot of people disappointed at Sami Zayn being number 30, which feels very much like the Liv Morgan situation. I don't know how people talked themselves into thinking MJF was going to show up, but people talked themselves into thinking MJF was going to show up. You should have seen my live chat all night long. Khan, MJF's going to be here. Khan, he's going to be here. Oh, I guarantee it, Khan. Oh, MJF's going to be here, Khan. And it's just like, dude, he's signed to AEW and he's injured. Like, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But let's fast forward all the way to the final two where we were down to CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. This thing was like a legitimate one-on-one singles match for a hot little bit there. Like, I think they went 12 minutes or something ridiculous like that. Just the two of them in the ring in the final two of the Royal Rumble. Wild, wild stuff. But yeah, in the end, Cody Rhodes, he won, which surprised all of us. I think everybody thought CM Punk was going to win, but no, Cody pulled it off, and now it looks like we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which, again, like, I really, really, really want Cody to finish the story. Everybody who's ever watched me knows that I'm not a big Roman fan, okay? And this is not saying that I don't appreciate what he's done for the business and how great of a character he's been. He's been freaking awesome. But I am a Cody mark, and I want to see Cody finish the story before I'm 55, all right? I don't want WrestleMania 310 on Mars where it's Cody versus Roman Reigns. I don't even think that's possible. They'd be way dead, wouldn't they? But anyways, I don't want to see that match in 20 years. I don't want to see Roman Reigns beat all the records. I just don't want to see Cody finish your damn story. I truly did enjoy this pay-per-view, though. I thought it was a solid event, you know, not an iconic event by any means. The Women's Royal Rumble is going to be the most remembered thing from this entire PLE. But in the end, I'm excited for WrestleMania. I think that they got the right direction going into the show of shows. And who knows what it's going to look like. I mean, we got a lot of injuries that we're going to have to deal with now. A lot of rumored injuries as well, which hopefully they aren't true, but we'll find out, won't we? In the end, though, WrestleMania is going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, though. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out all my social media. And we'll see you guys next time in another video right here on the Conman167 channel. Roman wins, LOL.